Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience, and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. In the book, which the concept for was initially shown to me in a dream and has been followed by a next level amount of synchronicity, I share the keys to manifesting abundance that I've personally discovered over 25 years of trial, error, and deep exploration of these key perspectives, as well as one golden key that ultimately ties them all together. Waking up our planet by sharing these keys to abundance is the quickest way I know of to help us to transition our home into the planet of paradise it is destined to become, which is why I would like to gift the book to you at goldenkey.gift when you use the golden key code POSITIVEHEAD. I'd also like to invite you to create your own unique golden key code so you in turn can gift the book to others, as well as invite you to participate in a unique abundance manifestation game with me and the other readers that is outlined in detail at the end of the book and on the website, where readers will also share the inspiring results of their abundance manifestation experiments. Lastly, I am going to practice what I preach by sharing 50% of the abundance generated from the game and sale of the other golden goodies on the site with you and the other readers. So if you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome one and all. I am so grateful that you all are here with me today. I am grateful to be back solo again for the first time in what feels like a little while. I feel like it's been a few weeks, and it almost feels weird to be here by myself and not have anyone to talk to, but it's fun because today I was thinking of telling you guys a little story and also sharing with you a little recording of me in trance from a couple weeks ago, because what was said in that session, it just keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. And so I feel like it just needs to be shared. And so I want to do that. But first, I want to tell a little story that came up after recording with Brandon yesterday about his new book, The Golden Key, which is free for everyone to go and get at goldenkey.gift. So go check that out and get your copy, which is awesome. It's a downloadable copy that's free. And and there's a really fun game associated with it and all sorts of amazing synchronicities, which is what brought up this story for me. And if you guys listened to yesterday's episode and the end of it, there was this song that came up in my mind. And when I was listening to that song yesterday, it brought up this moment in my life, which reminded me of another very, very important thing that happened that day, which was this. So I was watching a Nostradamus show on the History Channel, and this day was very pivotal in my journey. And this is why I want to tell this story, because I know that so many of you listening to the podcast right now have either found this podcast because you either know there's something bigger, or you're looking to hear about all the bigger things, or just want to hear and talk and conversate about all things that are bigger and greater than what we really think we know, right? And you're either beginning this awakening process or have been on this awakening process for quite some time. And the journey never ends. And what's really interesting about the journey is that it often tends to circle back on itself to remind you and to help you learn the things that you came here to learn. And that, I feel like, is what has been coming up right now a lot during this time, is like this remembrance of these times where we had these significant moments in our life where they have really either awakened us or have pointed us in a certain direction. And so when I was watching this History Channel show about Nostradamus, this was in like around 1998, I'll say. And they were talking about a huge explosion in New York City around 2001. And then they continued to talk about earthquakes in California in 2012 and how it was going to be the end of the world. And then, so fast forward, 2001, September 11th happens, and my mind goes right back to that show that I watched and thought, oh, wow, okay, so they predicted that. Because I remember this moment being very intense because where I was at the moment was right outside of New York City. And I turned to my boyfriend at the time we were actually going to be getting probably engaged and married if I didn't make the choices that I did in my life, and which worked out to be absolutely just fine. But in that moment, we were planning to have a life together, and I turned to him and I said, we're going to need to make sure our family is out on the West Coast with us when this happens. And so I remember it very clearly. And then it happened. And so after that, I was absolutely convinced that 2012 was going to be the end of the world, because if they predicted one thing, then of course, why wouldn't it be another? And so this was really one of the ignition points along my journey. And there've been many, but this one I always circle back to because there's so many things that were synchronistic about it that I only come to learn in the future when I circle back on them. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure that Dolores Cannon was in that show because I come to learn about her years later and am doing her work, the technique that she created. And she wrote books about Nostradamus and was on shows on the History Channel back in the 90s. And so who knows? I think I was probably watching her. I don't remember it exactly, but I do remember an older woman that was really cool talking about Nostradamus. So anyway, all of this because Brandon and I talked about 311 and the synchronicities that were involved. And I just think it's a really interesting point to think about our own journeys and those moments that really stick with us. I mean, this was 23 years ago, and I can still remember sitting on that couch, having that conversation, and how it felt inside. And I think that those moments are so, so crucial because they're really pointing us in a direction to pay attention to, shining a light on where we should focus in order to help us continue along the path that we are here to be on. And this is one of the things that I want to get into today because this is one of the ideas that's been coming up so much. We really all need to make sure that we are just trusting our inner guidance and going with our most innermost passions, because that is what the universe wants us to do. And this is what the energy is set up for. And these are the messages that have been coming through over and over and over again. And one of the absolute biggest ones is one of the ones that Brandon and I were talking about yesterday. That is one of the first concepts in his book, which is the Maharishi effect. The fact that when we can all understand something collectively in our awareness, that if a certain number of us can do that, then the entire collective will also get it. And that is just so amazing. And that is what the messages have been lately, is to remember what you do is really helping the whole. And this is what came through also in my trance session, I'm not going to call it a QHHT session because it wasn't that. I was just put out into trance really quick to talk to my higher self. and to have Sarah, who was actually on the show last week talking about her amazing new book, A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis. She was the one who guided me through that little session that we did and asked me questions. So you'll hear her voice on the recording. And so before I play, I also want to give fair warning that I do get a little emotional at times. And whether it's because I get sad or whether it's just such an intense energy that is so overwhelming and beautiful. But yeah, there are moments where it's, where I get emotional. And also the energy within my body was so intense and like vibrating so intensely that it was hard to speak through. And so it's interesting listening to it because, and this is why I wanted to play it and not just, say the words that I had said, because it, hopefully you can feel the energy of how intense it was to like speak through it. And also how difficult it is to like come up with words because sometimes either I am like thinking out loud and they're just kind of talking kind of thing. Like my higher self is just kind of talking and I'm not thinking of the words. But then there are other times where they're just showing me like concepts or pictures. And it's like I'm having to try to explain it. And it's like it works both ways in my mind because I'm very aware, but also connected and able to get these messages and this energy and all the things. And so this is a fun thing to share, although, a little vulnerable thing to share, but I think it's a really important message. And because it's been coming up so much, all of the ideas in here, I thought it would be a good idea to share it now. So take a listen.
She's not afraid, she just doesn't like it. She doesn't like being confined and being told what to do. She's very free. She'd rather just fly on her own. That's also it. She can do it, and it's stupid that we have to get in this thing to do it.
Can she do that?
Yeah, but it's the material world that we're in that makes it confinable. And so in this body, no. No, not later. It seems like we can do it later. Maybe if the world does what we all can collectively do. If everyone can do it, we can do it, but everyone has to collectively do it in order for us to do it.
Right.
We can do it now. It's just that it has to be a collective acknowledgement in order for the material to change, to materialize. Needs to be different. I don't know how to explain.
Right, I understand.
It needs to lighten. The density needs to lighten up in order for us to do it. We're too dense in our materials right now.
Do you see this happening in the future? That people will
It could. That's why it's confusing to her. It can happen.
Right.
We have the ability to do it now. It's just the collective needs to shift. And that's what you all are here doing. It's that you're helping the collective to shift in the awareness so that it can do it. And it can. It's just, it's hard right now. It's hard.
Can you tell me more about that? We're helping the collective to shift?
Yeah.
In awareness?
Yeah, all of you in your, this is why you're all together. This is why you're all here. This is why we brought you all together. This is why Dolores is helping to bring you all together, because this is your job here. This is why you're all drawn to this work, is because this is how you help people to make their connection to us, to their higher selves. And that's what helps everything rise, is this awareness that it is not material. And when everyone starts to understand that it's bigger and greater than what they see, then the collective rises and lightens up. And then we can all do it. And so there needs to be more and more and more and more of you, so you can all do this work. And everyone needs to heed the call that they're hearing. So many are hearing the call and they're afraid to do it. And they don't need to be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. They all need to help. It's important. It's so important right now especially. This is why we are here. This is the time to do it. This is why there are so many of you here and awakening at this time to do this now. And so when you hear the people who are afraid, it's important to encourage them not to be afraid. There is nothing to fear, and to hold them in so much love and so much grace, and so that they can know it and feel it, that there's nothing to be afraid of. And that's really all it is too, is holding them in that space. You almost don't even need to tell them anything. It's just your energies that they can feel. And it's that, like we said in the beginning, it's what she does when she goes out. It's just that little spark of ignition that ignites in them and helps in their awareness and in their growth. And that's all that is needed. It's just to be in that energy with them.
Why is it now? Why now is this going on?
It's the energy that we have, it's like traveled into. It's hard to explain it. The energies that we exist in the galaxy, in our dimensional forms that we're traveling through, it's like our step system that we are moving into, traveling through, making the steps through the journey and that Earth travels through, if this makes sense.
Right, that makes sense.
Like a clock, like that. So we're just in that area of the clock now.
I see.
We've hit that, like the clock has struck its time in order for this to be in this energy zone, where the energy is present for this to occur. And when this hour is over, the energy will no longer be present and as available. Not like it's just not as present, not as strong, not as available for those to catch it. And so now it's just that it's more available, more strong, more easy to catch now, because we are in this alignment of vibration.
Oh. Is there anything that you would suggest we all do as a group collectively?
Hold your alignment. Just keep your balance. Just keep your balance. Stay in your heart center. That is all. That is all. You stay in your heart center. Keep your focus there.
And what happens if we all do that?
That is when you will see how ridiculous it can be. It's so, we can do so much. It's all light. That's all it is. It's just all light. It's all it is. And from there, everything is possible. Everything you can do. That is where everything in the mind is just so immediate. It's immediate. You think it and it is done. And there is no having to do or having, that's what we mean when this is what we have been telling you. This is what you get in your heart center, and it just is. It is no doing. It is immediate, because you are aligned, in your heart, in your intention, in your focus, with the energies that are ever present. And it just is, and it is immediate. It is that simple. It's so simple. It is so simple. You all just need to get out of your way. Just understand that it is just about being in your heart centers. And it's so bright. It's so bright there. It's so bright.
Why are we here?
In the heart. In your heart center. It's so bright. So bright in everything.
Why are we here in Florida together?
Because you all together already know this, and to strengthen it, so that you can bring it back to your grid points, and then you can spread it from there.
Oh, anything else that you could tell us about that?
It's important to keep spreading it and keep traveling and keep telling the people and just being, and to just do your work. It's important to just bring this energy, this remembrance of your togetherness and your remembrance of your collective and your job here that you came. When you see each other in the auditorium, that is when you get together and plan and listen to all of us, and we come together.
Do we know each other?
Yes.
How?
All of us have been together for so long, for so long, and it is now that we've all come here to do these different jobs, but we go to meet in our meeting place where we all, so it's like we're here in our meeting place, It's not just on that other dimensional level now. We're doing it in the material now. So we're bringing what is in the other dimensions into this material more when you come together. So it's not like, it's more like before you're doing it on the other realms, and now you can materialize it. You're materializing it so you can help the world more. Bring it into this material. That's what it needs. That's what really needs to happen here, is this material place needs to understand that it's not that. And so your energies are so important to help for the collective to understand that it is not material.
Where is Erica from?
Everywhere. Everywhere. There is no, she's from this brightness. We all are just from this brightness, and this fromness in our humanness is just from our more closest conscious memory along our timeline. Maybe even closest in this like galaxy system.
I see.
Because it's bigger than this. It's bigger than this. It's so big. You guys, it's so big, and you've all been everywhere and so far, 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 you don't even know what they're called and things. So it's just that now our focus is in this galaxy, and so when we say, where are you from, it's just our earliest or most soonest memory from in this closest millennia or time frame, or however you want to call it.
We're about finished because we're out of time, but do you have a final message for Erica?
We just love you all so much, and we are so grateful for all of your work, and you're all doing it. You're all doing it, and know that you're doing it, and just keep doing it. Just keep doing what you're doing, and know that we are all here with you all of the time, and when you need help, you just ask us, and you know, we already know that we are always here with you.
Thank you so
And you're all together all the time, and so you're all together, and when you need this togetherness, you close your eyes and you see these moments of you together. That's also why you're together, so you can just close your eyes and bring yourself back in your mind to these times to be together. It's important. We love you so.
Thank you so much.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, NOOM. NOOM is a unique, habit-changing solution that helps users learn to develop a new relationship with food. And it's not a diet. No food is considered good or bad. As we talk about on this show all the time, it's all about proper balance and having good habits. And NOOM just teaches you how to look within your own mind and make better decisions for yourself. Sounds familiar, right? It's based in psychology, eating better to feel better. It focuses on the story that we tell around food and how to feel good about our choices. And they make it all super easy to do with a minimal commitment of only 10 minutes a day, which is essential for someone like me with so much on my plate. Pun intended. So if you guys would like to try out the cognitive behavioral approach to losing weight that has led to 80% of Noomers finishing the program and 60% sticking to their goals for at least 1 year, head over to noom.com/positivehead to start your trial today. That's spelled NOOM.com/positivehead. I mean, what do you have to lose except outdated habits, perhaps a few extra pounds by signing up for the trial? Once again, that's NOOM.com/positivehead. Check it out.
Yes, the message that is always so beautifully given at the end is how much we are so, so loved. And there were some things in there that were specific to, my immediate crew that I was with, but that isn't specific to anyone. There are so many groups that are doing the exact same thing. And there are so many people that are doing the exact same thing in all these different and beautiful, beautiful ways. And I want that to be a reminder that you're all doing such amazing work and to keep doing it. And if you're hearing that call, to please heed it, because, wow, that was really intense. They are just like begging and pleading, please listen to the call. There is nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. You are held in that loving, graceful space at all times. At all times. I love you all so much. That's it for me today. I'm going to leave you with a song. This is Satsang. I'll be there. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to remind you about the Game with the Universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time. And if you go to positivehead.com/universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to spark the curiosity of friends and family by having them choose a number, so they'll hopefully go and check out their number as well, which I greatly appreciate because it helps us to spread the word about the podcast. Once again, the address is positivehead.com/universe. And as a quick reminder, if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them almost every day, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I cannot stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so. I have my favorite, the appleberry shake, at least 5 times a week. Once again, to learn more about the Purium transformation, go to positivehead.com/transformation. Or if you want to keep it simple and just try out my favorite, the appleberry shake, you can go straight over to ishoppurium.com and be sure to use code positivehead for 25% off. I'll spell that for you. It's ishoppurium.com. And be sure to use your Positive Head 25% coupon code.
The world will offer itself to you to see what you will do. The choice is yours to make, my darling. And everything that we talk to you, you'll need it as you see it through. You'll find your way and you will learn from falling. It's not about the ones you throw, it's about the ones you take. What did you do when you get up, and did you learn from your mistakes? These hands ain't scarred from nothing. I earned them so I could teach you something, and you will be a warrior. I can see it in your eyes. So go and do the best you can. I'll try to help you with your plan, but in the end it's up to you to try. Remember to be calm, but still stay wild. Learn these ways and go start your own fire. Know that I am here for you, and there's nothing you could ever do to change that. And if it's getting dark out there and the world has got you running scared, I'll be there. Yes, I will. This place is getting scarier, and it's time for you to go. Carry your flag and plant it deep, and let this world know that what it is that you came for. Tell them who you are. Live out loud, don't you hide in silence, and go and travel far. Keep yourself in situations where you will continue to learn. Listen more than you speak, my child. When you're old, you'll get your turn. You will be bold, you'll fall in love and likely break your heart. Remember to learn to love again and be open to falling apart. But when it hurts the most is when we learn the best. Well, you will feel high, lose it all, and then get it all back again. I promise it isn't for nothing, and it will add up. And when your cup is overflowing it's time to share your cup. Remember to be strong, but still stay wild. Plant these seeds, then go start your own fire. Know that I am here for you, and there's nothing you could ever do to change that. And if you need advice out there, cause the world has got you running scared, I'll be there. Yes, I will.